Donald Trump's plan is to do what he did last time, which was give another massive tax cut to billionaires and big corporations. And the reason some people think, well, I don't know, I remember that economy when he first came in being pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good, because it was my economy.
Trump loves to sell the image of the ultimate outsider, the businessman to slick for politicians, rewriting the rules as he goes. But the second Obama steps in, that illusion shatters. Obama doesn't just call him out, he dismantles him, piece by piece. Behind the bravado, he reveals a man starved for attention, allergic to responsibility, and terrified of comparison. This isn't a debate, it's a demolition job, and every weakness Trump tries to hide becomes the very weapon Obama uses against him.
He called himself the father of IVF. I do not know what that means. You do not either. He said January 6th was a day of love. Do not boo, vote. It made January 6th sound like it was.
Trump branded himself the system's disruptor, the swamp drainer, the rule breaker, the guy who showed up to bulldoze Washington. But when Obama takes the stage, Trump's image unravels faster than one of his failed casinos. Obama doesn't roast him with cheap shots, he dismantles him with a steady calm that cuts even deeper. On one side, composure, intellect, and discipline. On the other, a man obsessed with crowd sizes, retweets, and reality TV theatrics. The humiliation writes itself.
Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between the real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't. And he wants you to think that you'll be richer and safer if you will just give him the power to put those other people.
Obama's power isn't in volume, it's in precision. No shouting, no gimmicks, no catchphrases. Just surgical strikes at Trump's weak spots. Trump thrives in chaos. He loves the shouting matches, the noise, the spectacle. But when faced with Obama's unshakable calm, he looks lost like a student flipping flashcards for the wrong exam. Trump can dominate noise, but against mastery, he
Do you think Donald Trump ever changed the diaper? Yeah. I almost said that, but I decided I shouldn't say it.
You think Trump ever changed a diaper? Probably not tanned. That's the energy here. What makes this showdown so sweet is the history. Trump obsessed over Obama for years, from the birther lies to desperate attempts at tearing him down back then. Obama stayed silent because silence was stronger, but now he steps in and with precision dismantles Trump's whole act. It feels like karma finally cashing in.
You would be worried if your grandpa was acting like this. No, I'm not joking. You would, right? You'd call up your cousins and you say, "Have you noticed?" So imagine it coming from a guy who wants to be given unchecked power.
Trump built his brand on being the big man, the deal maker, the untouchable force. Obama pricks that balloon with elegance. He doesn't just poke Trump's ego, he exposes its fragility. Trump can't let anything go. A joke, a poll, a headline, he spirals louder, angrier, digging himself deeper. Obama, meanwhile, makes restraint look like a superpower. Suddenly, Trump's the guy shadowboxing his own paranoia, while Obama just points, smiles, and wins.
It is one of the oldest tricks in politics. From a guy whose act has, let's face it, gotten pretty stale. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse.
This is the comparison Trump dreads most: legacy. Obama's presidency, love him or hate him, still carries weight. Dignity, stability, global respect. He looked the part, acted the part, lived the part. Trump, he turned press briefings into episodes of The Apprentice and summits into stand-up routines. His White House was a revolving door of chaos. Obama doesn't need insults. The receipts speak louder. Bankruptcies, a bungled pandemic response, legal scandals piling up like overdue bills. Obama just holds up the evidence, and the roast writes itself.
If you will just give him the power to put those other people back in their place. It is one of the oldest tricks in politics. From a guy whose act has, let's face it, gotten pretty stale. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse.
Here's the sting. Trump doesn't just want power, he wants respect. Not from diehards or sycophants, but from the world. He craves legitimacy. But respect isn't for sale, and it can't be faked. Obama commands a room by walking in. Trump storms in demanding attention, but respect never follows. Obama wrecks him not just by mocking him, but by embodying everything Trump chased and never caught. The contrast is brutal. Hush money scandals, chaos leaks, reality TV drama versus steady dignity. Everyone sees it. Obama doesn't even have to push the reality, does it, for him?
Who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala.
On the world stage, the gap is even wider. Obama delivered speeches that carried weight and patience. Trump treated summits like rent collection, wagging fingers at allies, and threatening trade wars on Twitter. Obama made the presidency look. Presidential Trump made it look like a rebooted reality show, the harshest cut. The so-called tough guy reduced to whining about late-night jokes and TV ratings. Obama doesn't drag him down. The facts.
I think we became a little bit complacent over the years. We assumed that things would continue to get better, that our democracy would become more inclusive, that it would become more fair, that we'd make it easier for people to vote rather than harder for people to vote, that the votes would be counted rather than suppressed. And what we forgot is that history doesn't always move in a straight line, and it's not always 2 steps forward and another 2 steps forward. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward and a step back. And we're in a moment right now where not just gerrymandering, but efforts at voter suppression, efforts at questioning the results of elections, efforts at the executive branch unilaterally.
What makes this brutal is Trump simply can't handle it. He can trade barbs with comedians, spar with reporters, rant at rivals, but Obama, he's untouchable. Every attempt to hit him has backfired. Birtherism made Trump look unhinged, crowd size. Rants made him look small. Constant comparisons only widened the gap. Obama's roast isn't just another jab, it's a reminder that Trump has lived in Obama's shadow for years, and he never broke free. For Trump, it's the nightmare that
what we
ends.
have always needed was someone who represents the very best of us.
Is he at home eating a Trump steak, tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel? What's he doing?
We want someone who seems better than us. I think we got that with Obama.
I just have 2 more words to say. Obama out.
When they represent the United States of America, they represent as good as what we have.
Here's the truth about Trump. He's hooked on the optics of power, not the reality of leadership. Obama knows it because he lived the real thing for 8 years, while Trump played boss on TV. Obama exposes the gap between pretending to run an empire and actually running a nation that doesn't pause for commercials. Trump's presidency was crowd-baiting, ranting, and golfing. Obama laughs at that fragility, reminding us that leadership isn't whining about reporters. It's facing real crises. Even the economy myth crumbles. Trump inherited an upswing built by Obama. The rest was smoke, mirrors, and
There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
By the time Trump took office, the groundwork was laid. But instead of building, he gambled. Tax cuts for billionaires, stock market boasting, and empty promises to the working class. Obama tears the mask off, wages stagnated, jobs vanished, and the revolution turned into another corporate cash grab. America didn't get innovation, it got chaos. Allies confused, enemies emboldened, citizens baffled by late-night tweet storms and Trump's so-called deal-making. All bluff. No breakthrough.
That was Obama.
Nah, I'm just kidding. You know I've got to talk about Trump.
Obama was this brilliant lawyer. He was so smooth.
Though I am a little hurt that he's not here tonight. We had so much fun the last time.
He was so measured.
And it is surprising. You've got a room full of reporters, celebrities, cameras, and he says no.
And the way he would talk about things was so statesmanlike.
Is this dinner too tacky for the Donald? What could he possibly be doing instead?
Obama lands the knockout by going after Trump's core illusion. Character. Trump posed as wealthy while drowning in debt. Claimed competence while running on chaos. Every lie was a loose thread, and once you tugged, the whole costume collapsed. He cozied up to dictators, burned bridges with allies, ditched agreements with nothing to replace them. The man who bragged about draining the swamp flooded it with cronies and family. He didn't unite America, he split it further. Obama's final verdict is devastating. Trump was never a builder. He was demolition dressed as Destiny Ann, left a wreckage others must repair.